How do we go about advertising to get the greatest exposure for your property? About 90% of all rental prospects now come from ads that are placed on the internet. Therefore, we must advertise your rental home as aggressively as we would if the home was listed for sale. Here's an interesting story. I had a lady from Washington State give me a call. She has a condominium here in Chesapeake in a nice neighborhood. House has been on the market for about 7 months with no takers. She asked me if I'd take a look at it and maybe give her some pointers and see if I'd be interested in taking over the property. Well, I checked the advertising. I couldn't find any place. I checked the MLS. The house had been listed, but that listing had expired about 3 months before. So the only advertising this property was getting was a sign in the window, which you couldn't see unless you were sitting in the parking lot in front of the house. She terminated her agreement with her current property manager, hired us. We spent a day putting a good advertising package together, and we had the house listed and rented within 5 days and occupied within 15. And I think there's a couple points to be learned here. One, it kind of emphasizes my point on what I'm talking about aggressively advertising to get the best tenant for your property. And the other thing is, if you're going to list your property with a property management firm, pick a property management firm that's a professional and does this full time. The agent that had this property listed was a resale agent. He managed about 3 or 4 properties as a sideline. He had real no interest in property management, and his key focus, of course, was on selling houses. Well, his neglect cost her about $11,000 in lost rental income. I like to do virtual tours. Virtual tours take a little bit of time to put together, but they give great panoramic views of the house and the neighborhood, and a lot of times have resulted in actually people renting the house sight unseen just based on what they saw on the virtual tour. Our local MLS is another key factor in advertising the property. The local MLS has reciprocity or agreements with many other websites, which will spider out and get your listing onto a whole bunch of other websites. Also, every realtor that belongs to the Hampton Roads MLS will also your rental property will show up on their sites as well. Military websites are great. We have one here called AHRN, which is a combined military website so that people from all branches of service can see what's available here. And as we have about 70% of our tenants are military, this is a great site to advertise on. Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, where we have an enhanced site, Homes.com, Military by Owner, and even Craigslist are all great places to advertise. As an owner, if you want to check to see how effective your advertising actually is, after you list the home with a realtor, they put the house on the market, wait about a week, maybe a week and a half. Go to Google and Google the address of the rental property. See how many places the rental ad will pop up. Should be about 13 different sites. If you're not getting that, you might not be getting the best bang for your buck in your advertising dollar. My name's Lynn Smith. I'm the associate broker for JJC Management and Holdings. I can be reached at 237-6786, or my email address is lasmith7146 at gmail.com. If you have any questions about our advertising or any other facet of our property management company, please give me a call. I'd love to talk to you.